Yo, chat. What's going on, man? What is going on? You saw the title. That's why you clicked on this. We here to talk about it. All right. One great poet once said, "Si tu novio no te mama el culo, pa eso que no mame. Baja pa casa, que yo te lambo toda." Okay? That same poet used to work at a local supermarket. Amigo, friend in English, that I used to frequent. Not the same one, of course. There was multiple locations back at the island. But yeah, way back then. And that same poet happens to be an American citizen. Why? Because they were born in Puerto Rico. Okay? As in, he's American. Because if you don't know by now, which you should, Puerto Rico is a territory, basically, of the U.S., a province, okay? And so this is just another case of, again, people making something out of nothing. Because this isn't a problem. This isn't something bad. This isn't hurting anybody. But yet here we are. The news that the boy, Bad Bunny, El Conejo Malo, is solo headlining the Super Bowl for 2026. Okay? That means that once that happens, he'll be making history yet again. But people just want to complain about it. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people want to complain about it. I think really the most simplest thing that they're complaining about, oh my God, that he's a originally Spanish speaking artist, with Spanish music, and the performance is gonna be in Spanish, and they don't know Spanish. So what? Okay, so what? Y'all want to complain about that? Then complain about the Hispanic foods that y'all be shoving down your throats. Okay? Because y'all don't complain about that one, huh? Y'all don't complain about that. Y'all don't complain when the Hispanics in your suburbs and your subdivisions go and build you a house, huh? You don't mind whenever they pull up every week to cut your grass, huh? In the suburbs, in the subdivision. You don't complain about that, do you? Huh? Okay then. Shut your ass up. Were they complaining about Gloria Estefan, Cuban American, with Miami Sound Machine, which they got Latin roots within the group, headlined, yes, headlined back in 92. Okay? They headlined the Super Bowl back in 92. After that, it was Arturo Sandoval, Cuban, with, again, Miami Sound Machine as featured performers, the Sound Machine, in 95. Were they complaining about that then? Even if they were, it didn't still happen, didn't it? Okay then. Back at it again, Gloria Estefan, okay, this time being a co-headliner in 99. Okay, Cuban. After that, Cristina Aguilera, Ecuadorian American. Oh, but she's singing in English. Ecuadorian American. And Enrique Iglesias, Spaniard. Okay, they were featured performers, didn't headline, but they were featured performers In 2000, for the Tapestry of Nations, that was inspired by Disney's Millennium Celebration at Epcot. So they weren't. Nobody was really with multiple artists that were performing that year. None of them were considered really like one headliner, and we had two of us in there. 25 years ago, 26 years ago, by the time we get to our Super Bowl, because that's what it is. Don't get it twisted. After that, Bruno Mars. Now, obviously, primarily English. I don't even know really if he knows a speak of Spanish. And we can never forget that he hasn't always accepted it, but that's on him because his daddy being Puerto Rican, and I think it was more of a thing of him and daddy issues. And his daddy just happened to be Puerto Rican. He's like, nah, I'm not Puerto Rican. He didn't accept it until he did, even if it was for convenience. He did. He even ended up tweeting about Bad Bunny being in this next year's Super Bowl, and he headlined in 2014. Okay, so just like we can't forget that he headlined back then, and he has Puerto Rican descent, we won't forget that he didn't accept us himself really at first. But whatever. That's not what we're here for. We here to show you what the hell. After that, J Lo. Okay, Jennifer Lopez. I mean, though I do gotta say, some Puerto Ricans might not, might not claim her. It is what it is. New Yorican, okay, with Shakira, okay, Colombian. All right, they were co-headliners back in 2020. I know y'all remember that at least. And if you remember that, you should remember that J Balvin, another Colombian, and Bad Bunny were featured artists back then. Okay, they made an appearance. So Bad Bunny, y'all are complaining about this. This is not even his first appearance in this type of big stage. In this big stage, okay. To move away from the Super Bowl performances, we got Jose M. Acaba. Jose M. Acaba, first person of Puerto Rican heritage to be selected as an astronaut candidate for NASA's new Artemis 3 program. You know, the one that they recently been talking about in the news about going back to the moon, what, after 50 years since the Apollo missions? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And the thing is, he don't got to get there for us to say that he's been to space, because the thing is, he's already flown 3 space flights, including to the ISS, International Space Station, the one that's above us, flying around the Earth, just doing circles around us, going at 17,000 miles per hour plus. He logged around 306 days, almost a year. So, although from heritage, it's a Puerto Rican that's been to space. Okay, then. All right. Other than him, like I was saying, Miguel Rodriguez, Puerto Rican, engineer scientist at NASA's launch operations, and held senior roles at Kennedy Space Center and Cape Canaveral Spaceport. Moving on. Vanessa Aponte Williams, with degrees in chemical and aerospace engineering, being an aerospace engineer and involved in human spaceflight systems like the Lunar Lander program, and a finalist twice for NASA's astronaut selection, because our female Puerto Ricans don't stay behind either. Another one, Marco Gabriel Berrios, of Puerto Rican heritage, at some point being a U.S. Air Force test pilot, also selected as astronaut candidate in 2021, Still training. That's fine. I mean, it hasn't even been that long if you think about it in NASA, you know, years really, because they can't just say we're going back to the moon and do it in a few months. Next one, Felix Soto Toro, Puerto Rican, NASA electrical and design engineer, developed developed the Advanced Payload Transfer Measurement System, which was a major contribution to NASA because it's a system that precisely measures how payloads, like equipment, satellites, and scientific instruments, are transferred and positioned in microgravity and during spacecraft integration. That's innovation with precision and accuracy that helps assembling and transferring the things I just mentioned. And it just shows his high level of expertise in electrical and systems engineering. Okay, that for NASA to adopt a tool like that, it means he passed their very demanding standards, which makes it a significant engineering accomplishment with NASA's space operations. A Puerto Rican. So I say all that to say that if we can get selected to go to space, because check already done, and hopefully eventually walk on the moon, guys, we can be on the Super Bowl, no motherfucking problem. Okay? One side note that I also wanted to include on here, because yeah, I had to get prepared for this. El Chavo del Ocho, if you guys know, is a skit, or was a skit. They did a skit on SNL. Okay, El Chavo del Ocho. That's a really, really old Hispanic TV show. Really about, like silly comedy. But, and not to say it's the first thing that they've done, like with Hispanic or Latino heritage, or to represent. But again, it's still happening. If you thought that we were taking over, and maybe you didn't, we ain't done yet. All right. And if you didn't think we were taking over, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know where the hell you live. But that rock that you're living under, the thing is, people that Hispanics can do it too. Okay? Shout out to all the Hispanics, man. All right? It doesn't have to be just Puerto Rican, it's just Hispanics in general. Okay? We can do it too. Okay? There ain't no problem with that. And if you don't like it, deal with it because we don't care. Okay? Chat and everybody else listening. This was a special one, but I had to come and say something, man. I had to come and say something. So, chat, people, count down the days, okay? Because you have 3 months and 15 days, okay? 15, 3 months, 15 days for you to learn Spanish. Chat, we taking over, you know? So, I don't know what y'all got to do. Go ahead and get you a subscription to Rosetta Stone. Get you a subscription to Duolingo. But either way, whether you prepared or not, we ready. Okay? And it's gonna happen. And y'all are gonna have to suck it up. Alright? Chat. That's all I got for y'all, man. That's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all, the traction we've been getting, everything we've been getting. Alright? We trying to run it up. We just going up from here. Alright? So just stay tuned for more reactions, more dual reactions, more gaming. You know, I'm not gonna say that this is gonna be something that I do all the time, but come on, man, come on, y'all are being ridiculous. Y'all are being absolutely ridiculous. Okay, and so If you hear that, that's my alarm. That means that I got shit to do. So I'm about to get the hell off of this. And Chad, I'll just see you in the next one, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Peace.